Hello everybody, Dragonfire here, and I'm coming at you with another one of my videos. Thanks for joining me. Today, we are doing the top 10 albums of 1976. That's the top 10 albums of 1976. This is in my series where I do top 10 albums of the year for every year. And right now, I am doing both the 70s and the 90s. I've done every year the 80s, so sometimes I go backwards into the 70s and sometimes forward into the 90s. Today we're doing 1976, and we are kicking things off with my number 10 is going to be the Boston self-titled album. Now, I have very mixed feelings about this album. So, I have to say that the first time I ever heard it all the way through, it did kind of blow my mind. Um, I couldn't believe that this album came out in 1976. Uh, Very different from what I was used to for most albums of the 70s that I was familiar with at the time, especially pre 78, before Van Halen and stuff like that. So, um, I really like this album. However, I have to say that over time, I kind of have gotten kind of tired of Boston. It's a band, they're a band that, especially their big radio hits, uh, kind of wear on me over time. And so, um, I have gotten less and less fond of them over time, and I'm really not a big fan of anything on their later albums. Now, I believe their second album did also come out in the 70s, but then their third album didn't come out till like 1986. So they had a pretty big gap, and then another gap before their fourth album. But um, they're a band that is only kind of semi-active, at least as far as putting out albums. I don't know if they tour a lot. I don't think that they do tour very much. Um, but yeah, like More Than a Feeling um, has been so overplayed on the radio, but I still think this is a decent album. Um, just not an album that I am really that often to go back to, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it as, especially since the impact it had on me the first time I heard it, put it as my number 10 album of 1976. Okay, my number 9 is going to be um, it's going to be Queen with A Day at the Races. Um, yeah, this is a pretty decent Queen album. I think the big hit on this one was Somebody to Love, which is the final track on the album here on this CD version. Um, but it's not a bad album. It's a good album to listen to. Um, yeah, I like Queen and I like A Day at the Races. Also, it always reminds me of the Marx Brothers movie by the same name, A Day at the Races. Fun, old black and white comedy. If you're not familiar with the Marx Brothers, they're a pretty good comedic group, and they have a comedic group that did a lot of movies back in the day, kind of like the Three Stooges or Laurel and Hardy, something like that. Um, but really good movies that have kind of been lost to time. Anyway, um, Rainbow Rising is going to be my number 8 album for 1976. This is an album I found when I was younger. I found this album I found a cassette tape version of this album in a closet somewhere, and I think it belonged to my stepdad. And I went ahead and decided to give this album a listen. Rainbow Rising, or Rising by Rainbow. Um, and um, again, definitely an album that blew me away on first listen. Interesting album, very heavy, very much I feel like an important album in the history of heavy metal for the year that it came out. So yeah, give Rainbow Rising a listen. And I think this is the first time I've ever mentioned this album or even this band on this channel before. All right, ZZ Top with Teos. My favorite song on this one is Arrested for Driving While Blind. Pretty good album from ZZ Top. The Runaways. This is the band. I have talked a little about them before, but in case you didn't see those videos, this band had Lita Ford and Joan Jett in the band before they would go on to do their solo careers in the 80s. They were putting out, they were part of this band back in the 70s. So Lita Ford and Joan Jett, two of my favorite solo artists, especially their 80s works. And here is their band from the 70s, The Runaway. The Runaways, check out the song Cherry Bomb. The first song on the album, I think, is my favorite. And I think it was the big hit song off this album as well. Okay, what did we do? We did 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. That was my number 6. Okay, time to go top 5 territory now. We're going to get Rocks by Aerosmith. And this one, I also have a copy on vinyl. Yay! I love my vinyl copies whenever I can get to them. But yeah, Rocks by Aerosmith. I think definitely one of their better 70s albums. Back in the Saddle is my favorite song off of this album. I think Last Child is also pretty good. And I think Last Child was a hit. Kiss put out 2 albums in 1976. This is one of the 2. This is Destroyer. My favorite song on here would be Detroit Rock City. God of Thunder is another good one. Yeah, I chose to put this one on my top 10, but I did not include Rock and Roll Over on my top 10. But they did put out 2 albums in 1976, according to my notes. And I just think Destroyer is the better album worthy of making the top 10 rather than Rock and Roll Over. But I'm sure this album also has its fans. Okay, now we're going to enter my Mount Rushmore. Did I miscount? Hold on a second. Boston was number 10. A Day at the Races number 9. Yeah, Rainbow Rising number 8. Tejas number 7. The Runaways number 6. Rocks number 5. And Destroyer number 4. Okay, yeah. So I think I'm back on track now. Okay, number 3. Bronze medal I'm giving to Presence by Led Zeppelin. Achilles' Last Stand is on this album. Great song. Hot's On for Nowhere is another one that I like. Candy Store Rock. Yeah, this is a great album, as pretty much all Led Zeppelin albums are great. And then for my silver medal, it's going to AC/DC's High Voltage. The international version came out in '76, I believe. This one's got She's Got Balls, uh, Livewire, Rock and Roll Singer. Probably my favorite song on the album is It's a Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll. That'll get my silver medal. And then for my gold medal, I am going with Hotel California by the Eagles. This one's got Victim of Love. It's got the title track, Hotel California, New Kid in Town, Wasted Time. So yeah, it's a pretty good album. So we'll bust out my vinyl copy here with there. Yep. So there is Hotel California by the Eagles, and I'm picking that as my #1 album for 1976. I wouldn't say it was close. Really, any of my like top probably 6 could have been #1, but I think Hotel California is the album out of all these that I have listened to the most and enjoy the most. So that is my top 10 albums of 1976. And I also want to give an honorable mention to the band Spinal Tap. Uh, their 1976 album, Bent for Rent. Um, and definitely check out the title track on that album. So Spinal Tap get an honorable mention for 76. And I'm actually wearing Spinal Tap shirt today. Yeah, I'm wearing my Intravenous de Milo shirt. Um, so yeah, Intravenous de Milo did not come out in '76. I believe it was '74. But anyway, a great album from Spinal Tap. Okay, thank you everybody. Dragonfire out.